Okay, we're live, so I just want to make sure you. Good evening, everybody. How are you tonight? I want to thank Erin for arranging this wonderful place for us to meet. Hello to everybody online. Awesome. I want to tell you a little bit. My name is Crystal Barham. This is my daughter, Amlasat. We have been I've been a compassionate entrepreneur, and she's been my business partner for just about 2 years. And we are so excited to welcome this evening one of our founders, and it's going to be a wonderful evening together. So if you need anything at all, let us know, and I'm going to turn it over to Erin.
All right, hi everybody. Welcome. Hi, we've got almost 30 people online. Yep, we're almost up to 30, and from California to Washington State to Tampa and everything in between. So thank you guys for being there. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Thank you, Holly, for being here tonight with us. This is so awesome. I know. My name is Erin Woods, and I've been a compassionate entrepreneur for just over 3 years. It's probably, gosh, I feel like it's been kind of the greatest 3 years of my life. I am extremely happy, and I love the work that I get to do every single day. I put on this necklace tonight. This is, we don't sell this. The little tag says Defender. These were things that were given last year at retreat. Hopefully some of you will get some this year for different levels of sales throughout the year. So this is kind of like your medal, your prize. And mine says Defender. And I was thinking about this tonight when I put it on, and I thought, isn't that what we need more of? Right now in this very moment, in this world that we're living in, 6 miles from Pulse, in a world that's just chaotic. We need more voices to stand up and defend those who cannot defend themselves. And what we do is enable women to defend themselves against poverty, against human trafficking, against slavery, against hate, against abuse, to defend themselves. So we are defenders, and the world needs us, and the world needs a lot more of us. So I'm so glad that Holly's here tonight to just inspire us, and I'm just going to let her go tonight, and at the end we'll have some Q&As. So please give a big round of applause and welcome to Holly Wehde.
Thank you so much. So she said I could be let loose, right? Well, that is a scary thing because you just never know what is going to happen when you let me loose. So thank you, Erin. And thank you, Erin, for putting this on. And all of you that I saw brought all these really good goodies, which is torture. So I'm not happy about that. But no, seriously, thank you so much for making this happen. And I really want to say a big thank you for coming out, because I know right now in our community there is a lot of anxiety about just coming out. And by coming out, ladies, welcome, come on in, no problem, come on in, glad you're here. There is just a heaviness, and how can there not be right now in Orlando, in Florida, in this country, and in the world. It is just such a sadness what has taken place, and there's such a heartbreak in the world when you see that hate takes over like that, and that's exactly what's happened. And but you know what? There is something so powerful when we choose to overcome that and show up, to have purpose in our life, to live out loud, to live with love, to live with hope, and to spread that. And honestly, that's what Trades of Hope is all about. So I want to thank you for making the point to say, I'm not going to stay home and be afraid and not come out, even though we're really glad you all are here too. But thank you so much for being here. And if you don't mind, I would like to just open us in prayer, because right now our world needs some prayer. So I'm going to do that before I get started, okay? Father, I thank you so much for all of the women that are here tonight. I thank you so much, God, for their hearts. They came here, Lord, because they want to spread hope. They want to multiply love, God, and that is what our world needs so badly right now, Lord. We pray right now for all of those who have been affected, Lord, by what the massacre, God. We pray your loving arms around each one of them. We pray, God, that you would hold them in the palm of your hand, Lord, and comfort them in this time that there just is going to be just so much turmoil and heartache, God. I pray, God, that we would be life givers to those around us, Lord. We especially pray, Lord, for the LGBT community that is hurting, God, and there's already been so much hurt there, Lord. Let us just love them. Let's show the love of God to that community, to this community, Lord, and to each other. God, just thank you so much for this evening, Lord. So speak through me, speak to us, and guide us. In your name we pray, amen. Well, so Erin has asked me to share my story and a little bit of backstory. And first I want to say I'm here with my husband, Mike. I could never do any of this. The poor guy has barely ever gets fed, never has clean clothes. I know people always ask me, like, how do you handle running a business and kids and ministry and all that stuff? And you're looking at him right there because it would not be possible. I'm going to grab the water. I get this really weird thing whenever I speak. So if you guys, some of you are compassionate. How many of you are actually compassionate entrepreneurs? Raise your hand. Okay, we get tons of you. Awesome. How many came just in support, to hear more, to be encouraged? Okay, we got some of you. Wow, don't be afraid, but I know a lot of you do not like to speak in public. And God allowed me to actually start my own business, and I get terrified. So my mouth is getting dry right now. So that's an encouragement, isn't it? Like, oh my gosh. If she can do it, I can do it. So I'm seriously going to sit that all the way through. But anyway, so I have Mike here and I have Pam Dean here. So everybody say hi, Pam. Hi, Pam. Pam is part of our home team. And you guys are getting a sneak peek of Pam because we're really excited that she's on board. She has over 30 years experience. And she is just helping us to do what God has called us to do, which is change lives. So shh, don't tell anybody that Pam is in the house. She's come on to help us with strategy at Trades of Hope. So a little bit, yeah.
Y'all, that's really exciting.
So probably a lot of you know about me already, but if you don't, I have 5 children. Been married 28 years, Mike, is that right? 28 years. 28 years, and when I was 40, I had a heart attack. And that is a terrifying thing when you're 40 years old, you have 5 kids. And I was so afraid that I literally curled up in a ball and I just sat there in fear, crying, afraid, if I'm going to die, oh my goodness, you just go to the worst places. And probably some of you have gone through that in your life where you've gone through some hard stuff. And it's amazing how sometimes it is the hardest things in our lives that produce the best in us. Have you ever seen that, where the hardest things in your lives have the best outcome? And I've seen that time and time again. That's what God does. And through that heart attack at 40, I was told you would probably need a pacemaker and a defibrillator, and terrified, curled up in a ball, didn't want to ever exercise or go out because what I have is like something that like athletes just drop about. And laying there in fear, I realized, to live in fear is truly to not live at all. And guess what? None of us know how long we have, right? Bad news for all of us. 10 out of 10 of us are going to die. It's just going to happen. It's a bad statistic. It's a reality. And so what I realize is I don't know how long I have. You don't know how long you have, but I am going to live it on purpose. I am going to live it to the fullest. And my biggest thing was I had 5 kids, and in my heart of hearts, I just wanted to be, which, if you're a mom, I just want to be a good example. If I'm not going to be here forever, you start really thinking, like, what do I want to leave in my life? And I knew I wanted to leave a legacy. I wanted to teach my children I wanted to be the example to my children that really, that they can do anything with their lives. And the best thing you can do with your lives truly is to invest it in other people, to live on purpose, to make a difference in this world. And truly, every single one of you were created for that. And it breaks my heart when I see so many women who have such low self-esteem. They look at themselves in the mirror and they really think, not me. I could never be a Holly, or I could never be an Erin, or I could never be a Crystal because I'm me. And let me tell you, you have been given gifts by God that are so specific to you, and God wants to use you. And as much as I love Trades of Hope, and I believe in Trades of Hope, and you're going to hear so much about Trades of Hope, in this moment, I want to tell you it's not about Trades of Hope. It is about what has God called you to be in your life. And I can tell you the number one thing I know he's called you to be, especially today, especially here, especially in Orlando, and he has called you to be love. Be walking love. Multiply love around you. You will never go wrong with that. I mean, truly, you're going to get hate. You're going to get people that bring evil and all that. We must overcome it, and what we're going to overcome it with is we're going to overcome it with love. And that's what I want my life to be about. That's what I want my 5 children to see in me, is I want it to be about loving people. And when you look around, I think sometimes we don't realize the reality of the world, and it is as we've seen, a heartbreaking, painful, sometimes evil world. And we need all of us to decide and make a point to say that I am going to make a difference in this world. So whether it's through Trades of Hope or whatever it is in your life, take that step, whether it's with a neighbor, with your church, with, volunteering. Make a point to be loved. And I promise you, you will have a fulfilled life. Well, for me, at that point, the heart attack and being afraid, and I just started really, I'm a woman of faith, and I just started praying, God, show me what is it you want for me in my life? What is it you want me to do? My husband's a pastor, so I was a pastor's wife, and I just really felt like there was something within me that felt like there was some way to join that ministry part of my world and the entrepreneurial part. And I will say this, I love entrepreneurship. I love America. I love the fact that we were founded on entrepreneurship. And if you don't know that, I mean, that's how every business was started. And Trades of Hope is about entrepreneurship. First of all, I love the fact that it's so flexible that you make your hours, you make your time. And so I just really believe it. I believe in it so much that I've made all my kids start businesses so that they understand about it. So I'm going to just leave the cat off. That would be smarter. And I keep going on to their site, I think.
You're fine. I'm watching.
Thank you. So I realized, you know what am I going to do? You know, what do you want me to do, God? How do I take and intertwine my desire to be a part of ministry and helping people in that way, but yet I felt like there was something, you ever feel like where you feel like God is like calling you to something more? Like I just feel like there's something very specific that God wanted me to do. And I ended up at a candle party. My girlfriend was throwing, and you know, she had about 12 women in the room, and I love a party. I'm all about a party. I'm very social, and I enjoy being with people. I was like, this is so much fun. And I love sitting there looking at her as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and her sharing about these products and stuff. And I just thought, this is so cool. And then I saw the candles, and they were pretty candles, but I remember thinking, like, I just feel like that there's something more here that we could do. You know, why not sell something that could really change lives? And honestly, at that time, I did not realize, I mean, I had no idea what God was going to open up. I just thought there's something to this whole process that I had some ideas about change for change, and, you know, maybe we could sell something, and on top of that, you know, we could help women. And then, you know, I started praying that God would bring me a partner, because I know myself, and I know I'm very competitive. And I think, if I start getting down, and I need somebody who's going to kick me in the butt and be like, come on, let's go. So I started praying, and God brought me Gretchen. And Gretchen is amazing. And Gretchen had started an orphanage and a medical clinic and a school in Haiti. And she had seen some tragedy where women were bringing their babies to the orphanage and dropping them off, not because they didn't love their babies. They were dropping them off because they couldn't feed them. And what an incredible gift it was to go into the loving arms of somebody. But after seeing that over and over, Gretchen really got to the point she thought, oh my gosh, I don't want people dropping off their babies. I want them to keep their babies. And so as I was praying and talking to different people, I ended up going for a walk on the beach with Gretchen and telling Gretchen, you know, I have this idea. And, you know, Gretchen shared with me her heart's desire to go to the root of the problem and create jobs. So job creation, we talked a little bit about doing microfinancing, and that's how Trades of Hope was born. It was born out of just realizing that the rest of the world lives so differently from us. I mean, so many of us just don't realize, because we look around and we see each other and we kind of compare ourselves to each other. But the reality is that if you make $20,000 a year, you are in the top 10 of the richest people of the world. That's mind-blowing, right? How many pairs of shoes do you have in your closet? I'm embarrassed to tell you how many pairs of shoes I have. Half the women around the world don't own a pair of shoes. 40% of all women make less than $2 a day. That's some heavy stuff. And what's so exciting is Trades of Hope is making a difference in that. We are able to create a dignified partnership. And that's what I love about all of you compassionate entrepreneurs. If you could have seen the faces of the women in India, which I went about a month ago, when I shared with them that they are partnering with women in America. that they are actually helping women in America make a living too. It is the most beautiful partnership, and it is a dignified partnership. And you should have seen them as they just sort of stood up straight up. We're so proud that they were able to make a difference too. And God has shown us so many incredible things through Trades of Hope and the reality of how so many people live. And, you know, in Cambodia, one of the first stories that we connected with was a YWAM missionary who's on the ground working with acid attack victims. And we had been told about there's this woman and she's literally living in these four walls and she doesn't want to leave the house because she is so deformed that people treat her so terribly when she walks along the street. Because in that culture they believe that you must have done something in a previous life to deserve that happening to you. So they have a right to ridicule you. They have a right to treat you poorly. And so she didn't want to go out. And as we connected with her, she said, is there anything that she could make? And some of you may know she started knitting and making some stuff for us, and we sent her a picture of her products that she was making for Trades of Hope. This was 2 years ago. And Wendy, the missionary, called us back. She said, you have no idea what has happened. You have changed her life. She is a different woman now. This is a woman who was suicidal, who didn't want to leave, that felt as though she had no value. And now suddenly she's seeing a picture of a catalog with American women wearing her product. And she felt like she had so much value to bring to the world. The incredible thing about all over the world is how women are treated. Still to this day, there is not equality with women anywhere in the world. And Trades of Hope is changing that because we are empowering women like Ya, so that she now, which is so exciting, is you speak into, you build into people's lives, you make these opportunities where they feel proud of themselves, and now she is bringing on more women like her, so that she can now feel the value that she got, she's adding into other people's lives. Some of you have seen Florence, who is a leader in her community and in Africa, and so often women are not seen as leaders, but all of a sudden they start making money. They start being able to have a voice, and people start listening to them. Well, what do you have to say now that you're making money? And oh my goodness, Florence is so proud of herself, and she's employing so many people. And when we were in India, just got back from India, the things that we saw, there's so many of them, I don't even know where to begin. Met this one girl. She reminded me so much. I have 5 kids, and I have a daughter, Cassidy, who's 16 years old. And I met this one girl, I'm going to read her name because I actually thought her name was something the whole time. This is the problem of not speaking the language. And I thought her name was Pooja. So if any of you saw me share about Pooja, her name is actually Dipali. It's very different than Pooja. I have no idea where I got Pooja from. But for the record, it has now been changed. It is Dipali. And I had a picture of her. So she is 20 years old, and she took me to her house, and she was so excited. She's been working for Trades of Hope, making products, and she is able to go to college because of it. I mean, this is huge. And I met her in one area, and, you know, it was nice. You know, we were hanging out, and she said, let me take you, come to my house. And we went into the slums, and we went around the corner and down a path, and seriously, I couldn't believe when she said, okay, we're going to climb this rope and go up into this hole. And I'm thinking, okay, all right, let's do that. I can do this. And so literally we had to climb up this rope, get into her house. Her house is literally probably, you know, 8 by 8, 12 by 12, around that. And here she is here. This is where she cooks, and this is all her pots. And if you could see the size of her house, literally is about the size of my walk-in closet. And as I spent time with her, I thought, this is my daughter. I mean, she's so much like my daughter. And she was even doing the whole, you know, let's take a selfie together. Stuff. I mean, you just, you know, sometimes we disconnect ourselves with the people around the world, and we just think that they're so far away and they're so different. And, you know, we see it on TV, and we get so desensitized to what's going on around the world because we have our own heartache here in the United States as well. And we do have United States artisans too, and I'm so proud of that. But the reality is, she's my daughter. She's your daughter. She's my sister. She's my mother. These women are just like us, and the struggles they have for clean water, to be heard, to have a voice, and Trades of Hope is changing that. You are changing that. Oh, I wish so badly I could take you to this one group where this woman, she literally, making our dazzling necklace, you know, she spoke a language I don't speak, but she grabbed my face. And she held my face, and she just looked at me, and she just kept talking to me. And I literally, like, my tears were, like, welling up in my eyes because it was like, I knew exactly what she was saying. I don't speak her language. I knew exactly what she was saying. She was thanking me over and over again for giving her a future, for giving her daughters a future. And I wish I could grab each one of your faces, and you could see that little old lady's face, and you could hear her words, and you would know that she was saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for what you are doing. And I know what you're doing is not always easy. You are going into homes, you know, and I know some of you said, it's so scary having parties and stuff. Sometimes it is. I get that. I mean, like I said, I get nervous getting up and talking to people. But you have this incredible opportunity to go into homes and to share with them, first of all, how blessed we are in the United States, to be able to share some of these stories. We really don't, we do want to limit the stories because we want it to be hopeful. We don't want people leaving crying. So no crying, no tears in here. And we want them to see that they can make a difference just by wearing beautiful jewelry. I mean, this is amazing that we are helping to create for these women to be the heroes of their own story. So often people ask, well, why didn't you start a charity, Holly? And, you know, so many of you know, charity, there's a time for it. There's a time for us to jump in and do what needs to be done in the moment. But the truth of the matter is, if we send shoes over there, we're putting cobblers out of business. We send shirts somewhere, we're putting the person who makes those shirts out of business. You know, we are sending rice over there, we're putting the rice fields out of business, or peanuts, we're putting so many times we think we're helping. What they want is they want sustainable work. They want us to be able to help them. In our Gifts of Hope program, that's what we're doing. You know, we're helping them, not by giving them a handout, by giving them tools, sewing machines, piglets, chickens, so that they can create sustainable work. Why? So they can be the hero of their own story. How many of us want to be the hero of our own story? None of you want to stand in a line and have to beg to get a shot for your baby. You want to be able to make the money so you have the power to go and say, I need this medicine. I want to be able to take care of my own family. Not only that, but here's the coolest thing. As compassionate entrepreneurs, you actually, my prayer is that you will be so blessed, that God will bless you so much, that God will bless you in every way. Because if you are blessed financially, I know the kind of women you are because I've prayed for you. And I know you are the kind of the women that are going to use that to bless others. You're going to use that to put your own kids through college. And we are so excited to be able to see that you can make a great income with Trades of Hope. And honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. When I first started seeing what women were making, I was like, is this okay? This kind of seems like, is this all right? And the reality is, you sell a little, you're going to make a little. You sign on a few people, you're going to make a little. You sell a lot, you're going to make a lot. And I truly believe that some of you, God has called to be able to make an incredible income because you're called to other things as well. You're called to help plant a church, maybe, build a church. Maybe you're called to help send missionaries. Maybe you're called to help somebody adopt, or maybe you're called to adopt yourself. Maybe you're called to be able to take your family on the best vacation they've ever been with because your family needs some bonding. How many of us need some bonding with our family? My prayer is that you will realize your success is her success. And I know people struggle with that. They're like, well, why can't we just do good? Why can't we just, help these women and stuff? That's great, we will, for short term. Why? Because you need food on your table as well. So I want to say this really clearly. I am so proud that we are making jobs in America by creating compassionate entrepreneurs as much as I am about helping women in other countries. And you should be too. And you have the opportunity as a compassionate entrepreneur to build teams. And let me tell you, right now, there are so many women that need to have their life spoken into. They need to hear your hope for their life. They need to hear you tell them, I'm proud of you. They need you to hug them and tell them you're doing a great job. They need you to walk beside them and mentor them and tell them they can do this. And what I have seen is amazing. I have seen women who are like, oh, I can't stand up in front of anybody. I'm too scared and it's not going to work. And I've been one of those women. I know you don't believe it, but it's really true. Ask them in the car. I had to listen to Fight Song before I came in. Right? You guys know that song? Like get in there. Because you know what? The reality is we all need somebody walking beside us and encouraging us. So I believe some of you have been called into this business of Trades of Hope because you came in with these big hearts that I want to help these artisans all over the world. But God might have some women right here that you need to speak into, that you need to be able to walk beside, that you need to mentor. And I know Erin has done a phenomenal job. Crystal has done a phenomenal job doing that. And I just thank you so much because that is making a huge difference in women's lives. So, okay, let me look at my card now. Make sure I'm saying it. You know what? I never look at this. I write this down and then I never look at it. How many of you have gone on a vision trip? Yes, okay. How many of you want to go on a vision trip? How many of you are terrified and you're never leaving this country? I knew there was a few of you. Let me really encourage you to go on a vision trip, because when you go on a vision trip and you actually get to meet the artisans, because if you're like me, I mean, there's skeptics, right? I would be a skeptic too. I want to know, okay, let me really see this. That's what you need to do. It's a game changer. When you go on a vision trip, you get to go and meet the artisans. You get to see them sitting there holding their babies as they're trying to do beads and stuff, and then they go back into the daycare. You get to see that. I have a picture here to show you all, and this is outside of a parent project, and this is a group of women that probably some of you have seen, and this is a bunch of women that are outside of a parent project that are begging and waiting and wanting a job. They want to take care of their babies. And as you know, they've had babies show up, mothers show up ready to hand over their babies, and they've gotten a job instead. I cannot tell you how many artisan applications we get that remind me of this picture of artisans around the world that are saying, I want a job. I want to learn a new skill. Nobody wants to be a prostitute. But you know what? I have 5 kids. I would do anything to make sure my kids were fed. And there are women out there that have chosen to do anything, and they are begging for a job. And we're getting artisan applications saying, you know, we'd love to make this for you. My prayer and my need right now is that God would explode Trades of Hope, because we need more compassionate entrepreneurs. And it's great if you came on board and you're just going to sell a little and do it more as a hobby and all that. And we love you and that matters. But my prayer is we would get more leaders who recognize that we can make such a huge impact if we build teams and we invite people to be a part of Trades of Hope. Because when we had 1,000 compassionate entrepreneurs, we had 6,000 artisans that we were employing. And when we took the numbers and asked them how many people are they supporting, it was around 26,000, because so many of them had multiple, I mean, they were the only one in their like family and extended family who had jobs. So when that happens, which believe me, and when I was in India, you know, there's a woman there saying, I will clean your house for $4. There's 1,000 women behind her in those slums. There are 3 million people in the slum, one of the slums I was in. There are 1,000 people behind her saying, I'll do it for $3.50. I'll do it for $2. Oh my gosh, that breaks my heart. That breaks my heart. And God truly did give me a dream with Trades of Hope that we were going to change thousands of lives. And I'm seeing it become a reality. And I know it is going to become a movement. But it's not going to become a movement without you. Without you. And without you believing in it. And believing in yourself. And I have a feeling there's some of you that just are believing, I cannot do a party and stand up in front of people. I cannot do what I see. Guys, I'm a C student. I was not like, you know, going to win any awards in school whatsoever. But when God calls you to do something, you can do it. He enables you to do it. You can do it. You can be a voice. And I love what Erin said. There are so many people out there in this world and around the world and even here that don't have a voice. You're so blessed. You have a voice. Use your voice and help us change thousands of more lives. Let me say yes to these women standing outside this orphanage and outside of Shelley's that don't want to give their babies away. They just want a job. And come on, we're going to wear beautiful jewelry, right? American women are going to wear scarves, and we're going to carry bags, and we are going to have amazing bags, scarves, and jewelry. And we do now. We're getting better and better and better. And you're going to see some amazing trends and all that, because we know that's important too. We want you to have the best product to be able to sell. But as you all know, it isn't 100% about the product. For some women it might be, but it is about the artisans. And I want to be able to say yes to them. I want to say yes to the 1,000 women that are standing behind that woman who is going to be cleaning houses for $4 for the whole day. And the truth of the matter is a lot of these women, they are then obligated to just not clean houses, but they end up as prostitutions for that family. And we saw when we were in India, there were 12 women that were rescued out of a hole in the ground while we were there, that were in the wall, shoved into the wall, that were being trafficked. And when I see that, I get so enraged, but also so empowered, because I'm an American woman. I have a voice and I have the ability to make a difference, but I cannot do it alone. So I know some of you have been called, and so many of you raised your hands as compassionate entrepreneurs, and I just pray that you will be fierce, and you will not be afraid, and you will not let this evil stuff that goes on in our world stop you from doing great things. And I want those great things to be not just about trades of hope. Be an encourager, be an uplifter, be a love giver, be a multiplier of love. Give hope. That's what our world needs so much, and I believe every single one of you have been called by that. And so look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I know Mary Ann is teaching you all that, those things that you are speaking in the mirror, and they are absolutely true, because you truly can be and are world changers. So I think that's all that I was supposed to say, and probably more. How are we doing?
We're good.
We're good.
Really good.
Okay, so I think I can answer questions.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, we'll take a little moment to, before we do the questions. You did really good staying in your spot. But then at the very end you got very excited and you got off your mark. But it's okay. Okay. But everybody's still here. Let's see. Yeah, we're up to 42 online, so that's amazing. I just want to go out and like sponsor more women and like share the love and multiply. That seems to be like the theme of. I just keep hearing that, like multiplying love and multiplying ourselves. And, I loved your message, Holly, and I want to just give you a gift. So, everybody met Caspian. He's our tiniest little compassionate entrepreneur. He's only like 5 weeks old now. I think he's been giving Veronica a lot of trouble. Crystal, why don't you come up here for a second? So Crystal and I are directors, and so some of you guys are here from Crystal's team, and some of you guys are here from my team. But we're all the same group. I am Crystal's sponsor, so we're all together in this. But Crystal's team is called Free to Fly, and my team is called Small Things, Great Love, and these are both things that meant a lot to us personally. And so we got something for you, Holly, to kind of from each of our teams. So you got a little Small Things, Great Love, and you got a little Free to Fly. But this is for you, so thank you so much for being here tonight.
Should I open it down?
You can, yeah, we can show everybody.
Present.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna hold it because I'm gonna drop it. Oh, this is so beautiful. Spread your wings and fly.
There you go. And then there's something else. It's really, I have to tell you, there's more to this.
I probably should have waited, but
No, it's okay.
I'm so excited. So, okay, do small things with great love. That's beautiful. And especially because it's a home team, like I steal all their cups. So they'll be glad I have my
Your own special cup.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. I have to tell you that speaking of like the multiplying, passing it on thing, that cup is funny because it's Brian Berlin, who's on the stream. She lives in Baltimore. I think she shared about. She saw that cup on Zulily. She's like, oh, you need to go get this. So like 5 of us went and got it. Well, Colleen McLaughlin, another CE who's in Philadelphia, posted a picture today of drinking out of her cup that Ryan had gifted her. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. I'm gifting mine too. So it's like we all got the cups to give to somebody else. So it's like Trades of Hope. It's this gift that we have that we have to keep giving to other people. So
does that mean I have to give it away?
No. I should have written your name on the bottom of the Sharpie to make it a permanent thing. All right. So we got some questions. We did a little thing. And I tried to kind of fold them up equal sizes. So we'll take some questions, and if your name is on the question that gets asked, then you get to use it next.
Okay, I hope these really aren't like really weird questions.
I pre-screened.
I can open it. Okay. Was there a particular story that touched your heart in a way that you've kept that particular person in your mind's eye for your entire Trades of Hope journey? Without a doubt, it's yeah. 3 o'clock in the morning, I was having a mental breakdown. Felt like I hadn't seen my family for days. The pressure of Trades of Hope and starting Trades of Hope was just like, really? Is this really going to work? Is it really helping? And I got an email, of course, because in Cambodia it's a different time, with just sharing how much her world had changed because of what we had done and what we were willing to do. And so, I think we'll forever kind of be the poster child in a sense, although she's just grown up into such a beautiful woman. And in fact, I'll pass around a picture of her. So Ya is the story that just kept me going through those times where it almost didn't even make sense, and just to know that her life was changed because of, 4 women in a dream, and all of you makes me go every day.
And how she helps other women now go beyond
It's incredible.
their perceived limitations. It's incredible. And that was from Beth Lucart.
Oh, yes.
No, it's okay. Don't throw it away. I gotta give a prize. Here, stand up so they can see you better. Stand up. There you go. And I forget is Beth local? Do you ever know where Beth lives? I don't know where Beth lives. Okay. I can't remember. Wait, Beth, you win. I don't think she lives in Orlando. She's probably on the stream.
This next one is, oh, you folded these really well.
I tried to make them all the same.
Yikes. Okay. How do you manage all the facets of your life? Traits of hope, young child still at home, couple, church, being good to yourself, your marriage, where do you get your energy?
And that's from Rhea.
Rhea.
In the room. So,
Yeah.
yay, Rhea.
Good
Come on up and get your prize.
Good question.
Holly answers the question. Here. Now you can think about it.
Yes, thank you.
All right,
That's
reach
awesome.
in and grab something.
Thank you.
All right, it's all fucked up. All right, how do you do it?
Okay, how do I do it? First of all, I don't. That's really the truth. Balance is elusive. I mean, come on, the truth is we all want balance. I will say, if I get close to it, it is because I live purposefully. And that isn't just about the big picture, that's about the small things in every day. And recognizing, first of all, the vision of my life, what do I want it to stand for, and then what are the daily habits that are going to make that happen. And first and foremost, I'm a woman of faith, and so prayer is a really big part of my life. Secondly, I want a good marriage. I want the guy to stay around. So we have date night. But I also, as my children get older, we have family night too. They're 23, 21, 20, 16, and 11. And it's really important to me because there were years and seasons of my life that things got out of balance. And God gives you those warning signs, and listen to them. Listen and get it back in balance. And so we have family night and spend time together that way. But really think through, I mean, even a T-chart of like, what are my goals? What is my vision for my life? And what has to happen? Because we can have great dreams, but without a plan, it's never going to happen. So decide what's important. My kids, my relationship with the Lord, my husband, my friends, what do you have to fit in your life? Because the truth is we all only have 24 hours a day. So thank you, Rhea.
Yay.
Okay. Okay, when people submit artisans for being part of Trades of Hope, what is it you are looking for? Also, do you have any influence on new designs? Yes, we absolutely have.
Is that Stephanie?
Stephanie, I never
Yay!
said your name.
All right,
I'm so
Stephanie,
sorry,
come on up.
Stephanie.
Wait, I want to hear what she says. Oh, okay. All right, I'll get the rest.
Okay, what should I start with here? Okay, so yes, we have influence over the designs because the reality is what I see in other cultures that they really express themselves by what they wear. So they wear so much brighter colors than any of you wear. I mean, if you look at these pictures, they're so gorgeous. But most of you would probably not wear those colors. They also wear the biggest earrings and the biggest jewelry. So we have to, look at American trends and see what Americans want and help them tweak those and stuff. So yes, we definitely help them with that. And we did find that when we would say, well, we need more American colors, we got a lot of red, white, and blue. So we needed to kind of fix that too. And honestly, our ultimate goal with them is, yes, we want them, if there's been a tradition that's been passed down, we want to be able to keep that intact. But we also want them to have a sustainable income. So we do not want to carry products that we know you will not buy and your customers will not buy. So ultimately, yes, we definitely have hands on the design because we want to set them up for success, not make them feel so good that we pick a product that we know you are never going to buy, and then they're going, well, why didn't it sell? So does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and when people submit artisan for being part of Trades Hope, what are you looking for? We have some grassroots ones that are like life or death. No lie. I mean, like if they don't have us, they're not feeding their kids and stuff. Those are the hardest ones because generally they have no experience. And we've hired people, my husband and I, go over and teach them business skills, how to use a computer, how to connect to FedEx. I mean, you just got to understand, it is so incredibly hard. Those grassroots groups, they're so dear to my heart. You fall in love with them like, yeah, but the reality is it is much smarter for us to be connected to people where there's an English person speaking on the ground for communication, because you would be amazed at, in different cultures, we would consider it lying, but honestly, it's part of their culture to they just want to please you, so they say yes, 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 yes. And if you don't know the culture, you get yourself into big trouble. So we look at those artisan applications and we start really looking through it to say, do they have communication skills? Do they have the ability to grow? Can they scale with how fast Trades of Hope is growing? But then I'm not going to lie, sometimes our heart just gets ripped out of our chest and we say, God's calling us to help this group, so we're going to help this group. But let me tell you, like I said before, there are so many of them, it is heartbreaking. I want to help every single one of them, but I can't do that unless you all sponsor. So,
Yes, all right, Stephanie, yay, thank you.
yay, yay. It was a good one. Yes, I could answer it. That's my fear. I can't answer it. I don't know. Okay, next one. Okay, what have been some of your failures and what have you learned from them? Oh.
From Robin Sayers.
Yeah, sorry, Robin.
Ohio?
Robin Sayers. Okay, so I just feel like, honestly, like I have failed so many times in so many areas, and I'm sure you mean Trades of Hope. But the best gift my parents ever gave me, and I thank them for this to this day, is they said, Holly, never be afraid to fail, because failure is your path to success. And every single person who has ever done anything great in this world has failed more times than you will ever know. You just don't know. My first business idea was collecting lint out of dryers and like making pillows out of them, like when I was 19 years old or something like that. I mean, actually, I think I've never told anybody that. So, and I have no faith in you whatsoever. So yeah, I've had a lot of failures. And what I've learned from them is cheer yourself on, because you just learned what not to do. Get up and do something else. And honestly, I do praise God for my parents, because that truly is something. If you haven't told your kids that, let them know it is okay to risk and it's okay to fail. Just get up and keep going. And I think surrounding myself with people who are honest with me and can tell me when sometimes I don't even see my own failures. And, you know, I think it's really important to put people around you that are speaking truth into your life. So don't be afraid to fail. I don't know if I answered the question, but.
You did.
Okay, good.
I mean, the lint dryer.
Yeah, that was a failure.
Yeah, that was, I don't even know what else you said. I'll never forget that. So that was Robin. I owe you a...
Thank you, Robin. Okay, this one is, okay, what are you learning as relatively new businesswoman about the growing pains of a successful business, and what are your resources for creating an effective growth plan and strategy? And that's a great one by Mel S.
In California, who's on the stream. Melanie, who's going to Costa Rica in just a week.
This is a great one. Because I'm learning so much. And the thing that I have learned the most is to be humble and to realize, you know, God's given me some gifts, but he hasn't given me all of them. I need other people. I need to surround myself with really smart, loving people who share the same vision for God to do what he needs to do. It is a team effort with all of you as well. And I think I'm human. Sometimes I've gotten on my high horse and I think I'm making a great decision and it crashes and burns. Or I picked a product that crashes and burns. And so at this stage, what I've really learned is it's time to reach out and it's time to bring other people. And that's why we just went to the Direct Sales Association conference to just talk to other people who have been in this industry and understand it. It is a great industry, and truly we have so much to learn. God brought us in a back door because it was really through missions, but there's so much to learn. And so bringing in people who have gone before me is the smartest thing I can do, and recognize my weaknesses, because I got news for you. We all have some blind spots in our life, and we don't want to see them. And the truth is we don't see them. And so surrounding yourself with people who can help you see them, like I just said, is one of the things I've really learned at this stage in the business. Bring in people when you need to, and bring on resources and help them to create strategy. That's what Pam's here for, as a matter of fact, to be able to create strategy, because God has incredible things for Trades of Hope, and we are multiplying, and we want to do the best job we can for all of you, because I want all of you to be so successful that you are blown away just the same way I'm blown away. That in 2 years from now, you're going to go, I cannot even believe that I got to be a part of this at such an early stage, because really, you guys are still at such an early stage of Trades of Hope. And the opportunity before you is incredible, but it does take those habits every day, and not being afraid and risking and jumping in and doing the work. So many people start businesses and you're not going to be able to blame anybody but you, because it just means putting one foot in front of the other and doing the work. It is hard to be your own business owner, because guess what? There's no alarm clock going up saying you have to get up at this time, you have to do this. You have to be self-disciplined and motivated yourself. But all of you have the ability. If I can do it, you can do it. Ask my husband. I mean, if there's a cheesecake on the table, I'm eating it. I mean, you know, sometimes you can be so undisciplined, but if you can say to yourself, I can do this, you can do it. So make those steps. That's what I need to do to be a good businesswoman, and that's what I continue to learn from people around me.
Awesome.
I'm a fast talker, so we'll get through a bunch of
I know. I was like, I will only do like 4 questions, but yeah, you're fast.
Hopefully you all can actually hear me, because I do tend to talk way too fast. Mike says women can understand me, it's men that can't. Okay, what is it like working so closely with your daughter? I have a good relationship with my mom, but being business partners would be difficult. How do you separate work and family?
Jesse in Wisconsin.
Jesse H. wrote that. And that's a really good question, because I absolutely adore my daughter, and I want to have a good relationship with her. And the key is the last sentence she said, which is, how do you separate work and family? And that is the answer. You must separate work and family, because we have different roles at work than we do in family. And we have to be able to be honest with each other. And we are I really believe in communicating. I believe when I'm upset, I don't bury it. I tell her. When she's upset, she tells me. And we keep that communication very open. And we brought our kids up that way. Let's speak it, because you know what? If it gets under there, it starts to get ugly. And so you need to say it immediately when you're hurt or upset, because I'm not going to lie to you. I've stepped on her toes. She stepped on my toes. We have a rule. We call it toe talk, because it's TOH. No toe talk. And my 16-year-old, she'll say, well, I'll go shopping with you guys, but only if there's no toe talk. because we're so excited about what we're doing, and we love what we're doing, that we do want to talk about it all the time. But I also have 4 other kids and a husband, and they would actually like to not talk about it 24/7. So we've really tried to separate that out and make sure that we have business talk happens at business, and when we do our family night and all that stuff, it's family. It's family.
That's awesome. And I think that's so good for kind of speaking to everyone, not just partnering with our daughters, but just your life in general has to be balanced, like you were saying before. And it's possible.
It is possible.
Very possible.
And we actually have a better relationship now. At the beginning, it was harder because, you know, you're acclimating, you're getting used to it, and we had to set those rules. All right. Are we expanding to other countries and more in the United States also? We are always looking for groups. We want to expand. Oh, wait a minute. No, this means a different thing. You mean Trades of Hope as compassionate entrepreneurs? This is from Terry Hulsey.
Yeah, I mean, she means like, are we going to have British CEs and Canadian CEs and Puerto Rican CEs? I've got a lot of.
I definitely see that one day. Right now, we have you all, listen to me, you all have such an open opportunity here in the United States that we want to do this well. And, you know, when you try to do many things at the same time, you don't do anything well. You've ever heard that. So, yes, it is our plan to grow and grow and grow. I mean, it's actually scary what we have planned for the future. It's so incredible and exciting. We want to see being able to start schools, and we want to be able to see, you know, making such a huge impact is going to mean expanding. But let me say this. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We want to do a really great job here, and there's so much more work to do here because, I mean, even in Orlando, I mean, you guys can still affect thousands and thousands here. So let's do that, and then we'll work on other countries.
Good plan. All right, let's do one more, and then
okay, let's make
a good one.
Okay, what is your vision for Trades of Hope in the future?
I was hoping it was that one.
Yeah. Because that's probably part I didn't get to.
There were 20 of those in here.
So what is our vision for Trades of Hope in the future? It is to continue to empower women and really to empower you. It can't happen without you all. So we want to really look at our training, look at what we're doing internally to make sure that we are giving you all the tools you need to grow your business so you can be a success. That is so incredibly important to us. Why? Because if you are not successful, she is not successful. So we really want to focus in on our compassionate entrepreneurs and meet your needs and help you to be able to grow your teams and help you to be able to stand up here and speak love and speak joy and be able to challenge people and all that. So we're going to continue to do that because we really do have a vision I would love to see by the end of next year we have 3,300 compassionate entrepreneurs. I would love to see us have 10,000. And I believe that can happen. And as I shared with you, with 1,000, we were changing 6,000 lives, which, help me do the math here. If we have 10,000, we're going to be able to have 60,000 artisans. And with how many people they're helping, that's 360,000 people that we are going to be able to help. I would also love to see us starting schools because, as most of you know, education is such a huge thing. When I was in India, for them to be able to send their kids to school, I didn't quite get it at first because there's a little bit of different mentality here in the United States, but they will practically starve themselves to pay for their kids to go to school. Education is so incredibly important. In the slums, most all of the kids don't go to school. 50% of the girls in India do not go to school, and more drop out after they hit 12 years old. And so without an education, they really are stuck in a cycle, and that cycle will continue and continue. There is no reason in our world today people should be starving. There is no reason. There is no reason in our world today. I mean, I know that sounds so big, but there's no reason that people should be living in that kind of poverty. 50% of the people are under $2 a day. I mean, can you even imagine? So what is our vision? Our vision is to change the face of poverty. Our vision is to see a movement happen where people are talking about you and what you're doing and saying there is a business model, and yes, it is part of direct sales that is, we've created an army of marketers. I mean, each one of you are speaking for all of these women over there. The opportunity, we could have just gone and started an online store. How many people do you think we would help that way? Because I know sometimes, people are like, well, did it have to be direct sales? Why does it have to be that way? Why? Because it's genius. I mean, it's genius. Because you're on board with it, and it's exciting when you build teams, and it's a sisterhood, and it's a connection with other women, and it is such a beautiful thing. Honestly, I'm not going to lie, that is such an icing on the cake. I thought it was all about the artisans, but guess what? It is so much about you too, and I am so excited it's about you. Because I see what you're doing with one another. I see it on Facebook and how you're loving one another. And it's creating this beautiful culture of sisterhood that just overflows out of you to the world around you, to your family, to your neighbors, and yes, to across the oceans. So I see Trades of Hope going to 10,000 within the next year. I see us being able to help 60,000 artisans. And I see people writing things about Trades of Hope saying there is a new model. And although there's a need for charity, there's something even better. Let them be the heroes of their own story. Let's empower these women so they have a voice, so that their voice can stop genocide, so their voice can stop massacres, so their voice can stop illiteracy, so their voices can, in their own countries. We want to go and rescue them from all of the ails of the world. Let them rescue themselves in a sense. You don't want somebody else coming in and rescuing you. We're empowering them to be the voice that can rescue their own families and themselves and their children, and we should be really proud of that. And I'm so proud of every single one of you for coming out tonight, for being willing to listen to me go on and being willing to grab hold of this opportunity. And I pray that you will speak it, share it, tell people about it, be bold and be unafraid, because you are being a voice for these women.
All right, well, we've got tons of food. There's lots of people. It's early enough to where we can actually hang out a little bit and talk, and you don't have to rush away. Please take the time to take a picture with Holly and have a conversation with Holly. Talk to Pam. It's so wonderful that she's here and we have a chance to speak to her and you can have a chance to meet her. We should try and get one group picture.
Yes, we do
so
that first.
I think the light's best this way. So you guys all stay, except people in the back come forward maybe, and then we'll kind of go
Sounds
there.
good.
I'm going to turn the stream off while everybody's kind of getting going there. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you.